Hey guys, Allison Creamer here with Keller Williams Realty. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Hampton Roads area. Today I met with a tree surgeon who specializes in taking care of dead trees, removal of trees, and I wanted to share with you about a 10-minute conversation on why you need to ensure that your property is protected. As homeowners, we don't want any unexpected bills. Hope you enjoy the conversation. So, Michael and Simon, tell me what your company name is.
We are Southeastern Virginia Tree Service and Landscaping. We specialize in tree removal, but we tend to get in a little bit of landscaping here and there.
And tell me a little bit about, even though I'm a real estate agent, we talk about buying and selling, but landscaping, tree service, protecting the exterior of your home, those are really important things when it comes to, liabilities and insurance. And most people don't really think about their trees. But we're getting ready to get into a season that it's critical. So, what is one reason why somebody should give you guys a call now if they have any concerns?
Well, one of the bigger concerns, of course, is wind damage, water damage, if a tree were to fall into a house. So if you're out there and you see a tree that's right on top of your house, maybe it's got a lot of foliage and it could potentially be presenting a problem should the winds pick up, that would be a potential opportunity for us to come out there and assess it and take a look at it, determine, hey, maybe we should thin this out, look for some dead wood that could potentially fall, could be potentially hazardous. So
it's not always about removing the entire tree. A lot of times you get a large dead limb that might be hanging over something. It could be hanging over a power line where the city's not going to take care of it.
Absolutely.
It's actually preventative, not necessarily complete removal, right?
Yeah, you want to prune for aesthetics, but you also want to prune for function. Number one goal is always to protect your property, but you want to leave the tree looking in a natural state.
So it's really important with the hurricane season and just even nor'easters, when it comes to your homeowner's insurance, things like that. It might be easier to have a small bill now instead of a catastrophic loss with your personal belongings or, things of that nature. So calling you guys out there, even if you're concerned, do you do assessments? Do you do drive-bys? How would a consumer just kind of get an idea if they need to do something?
Yeah, absolutely. We come out there, we do a free estimate. If there's any questions or concerns, we'll put together itemized scopes for you guys. It depends on, it's all about what your budget is. If you decide you want to have something removed, and the best thing to do is to prepare in advance. The last thing you want to do is get wind that, no pun intended, that there's a named storm coming up the coast and then start calling around because...
Well, then you're busy.
In theory, correct. Yeah, we're going to be slam dunk busy with phone calls. So ideally, with it being an El Nino year, it would be ideal to try and, if there is something you've been looking at over the last, year or so, hey, give us a call. We'll come out there. Worst case scenario, you can, decide not to do it. But, we'll give you a free estimate. So
now, there's some key things when it comes to hiring, whether it be anybody really. So these are just some really good tips on some of the questions that a homeowner needs to ask you guys or anybody that they're interviewing. And you want to kind of talk about some of the things that you guys are quality in when it comes to value for your money or whether you're insured. So let's go ahead and tell our listeners a little bit about your company and why you think you're the better choice than just somebody who's cheap and just kind of knocks on their door.
Well, first off, you want to be comfortable with having any contractor on your property. I feel like me and Mike cover those bases. We're from the Kempsville area, and usually we have a pretty good rapport with our customers. You also want to make sure that you have a full understanding of how long the task will take once you've signed the scope of work.
In some cases, you'll have a company that may determine, hey, we'll get this done for $250 or $2,000, whatever the case may be. But then they'll end up taking a lot longer. Maybe they're not fully equipped. They don't have the right equipment. So they may take up to 5 days, whereas we, for instance, just utilizing us as an example, we have a boom truck, things of that nature that can kind of expedite the process. So we may be a little bit higher, but we'll also get the job done a lot quicker. And
well,
again,
yeah, if you don't have somebody sitting in your yard for days on end. We
get those phone calls all the time. Customers call us. There's a tree that, some guy pulled over and they just they end up leaving the job because they couldn't get it done, and so it turns into us coming up and cleaning up behind another tree service. We get those phone calls
Which
all the
actually
time.
probably costs the person more
Theory,
stress, more time and energy.
It is, unfortunately, and if we feel guilty in some cases because it's like, hey, I understand because in some cases homeowners have paid the tree service in theory,
In full.
and then they just end up leaving. So you just, you want to make sure you do your homework. Get on Angie's List, get on Google, get on Craigslist. Just do some homework, look for reviews. It's important to make sure, of course, they're licensed and insured. God forbid, that ever happens, where something happens, shingles, gutters, sometimes things happen. So you want to ensure that, you just do your homework, make sure that the tree service is licensed and insured, and that, they've got a pretty good online reputation.
It's kind of like the people that drive by and do the roofs after a hurricane. Some people don't ask enough questions.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to ask questions. Well, what I also love about you guys is you're local. So, Michael, tell me a little bit about who you are and where you grew up. Because I think supporting smaller local businesses is really critical, and you guys aren't a huge franchise of somebody else.
Sure.
You're local boys.
Absolutely, yeah. Me and Simon actually both went to Kempsville High School. Both graduated. We best friends.
Oh, I'm so glad you graduated.
I know.
Yeah, us too.
One of
Yeah.
us was lucky.
So yeah, we're best friends. We've grown up our entire lives here in Virginia Beach, and we love the area. We appreciate all of the military and what comes with this city and this area. We also, I went to Virginia Wesleyan and got my degree in finance, so we have a pretty good business model that we follow, and it's a long-term approach to keeping our business healthy.
It's building a business, not just building a bank account.
Correct.
Working correctly and taking care of your customers so that you get those repeats and referrals and
absolutely
things like that.
And we understand the value in customer service, and we understand in getting out in front of a job and making sure that the customer is taken care of. You follow up on time. You make sure you show up on time. You make sure that our guys are clean cut. The job's done in a clean, concise manner. When we leave, we plan to leave without you noticing. We plan to essentially just make the tree disappear.
That's
and
awesome.
That's the goal.
That's kind of our goal. So.
Well, we're going to put this information in the show notes as well, but you guys are on Facebook.
Correct. Yep.
And you guys are on Angie's List and Google Plus,
yep,
Google Plus.
Google, Craigslist, all of it. Yep.
And what's the best way to reach you guys?
SEVATS.com, SEVATS.com, or you can call the office.
Or email.
Or email.
Email. So you guys are pretty every avenue. Just call.
Yeah.
Just call.
Customer service.
And what's your turnaround time? Is it usually within the day? Somebody will call them back.
We can get you a quote within 48 hours.
Within 48 hours. So if you're in a bind and you've got a tree dangling, a limb dangling, it's probably a good idea to give you guys a call. At least get an estimate, find out what it's going to take. Maybe remove the whole tree, but maybe just do a little bit of modification on the tree.
Absolutely. And and one other thing to point out is the root system. You want to make sure that the roots, if you see root systems, I just had a job the other day where the root system's going underneath the HVAC system. Foundation repairs are really expensive.
Right.
If you see root systems, surface roots that are getting on top of your house, call us. We'll come out there. Grinding roots is a lot less expensive than fixing your foundation. So.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys kind of giving us this update. I do hope that our listeners will give you guys a call and you'll see some results of this. But even if a consumer just has a question, you're probably a good resource. These guys are local boys. They know the landscaping. They know the area. They probably know your neighborhood and the issues that your trees in your neighborhood are doing. So even just a phone call sometimes might be able to give you some solutions. So thanks for listening, and I hope you give you guys a call.